For time beyond memory, people have experienced at first hand physical, visual, and auditory events which could not be explained, and so it was feared. Today, we call this the paranormal. Our podcast will delve into this world of the unknown. So sit back and join Tina, Jake, Chris, Bridget, and Bill and journey into the darkness with us. Welcome to Paranormal Researchers Ireland podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 with Paranormal Researchers Ireland, and there's myself, Tina, Billy, Jake and Chris, and this week we've decided to cover the subject of exorcisms and demons and possession and everything like that. So as usual, I'm going to pass this over to Chris and he will give us, what would you call it, Chris? The history, introduction?
Just like a little introduction.
A little introduction.
2 hours, guys. 2 hours.
2 hours later.
I hope you've got your mug of tea or coffee or whiskey ready for the listeners because it's going to take a while. No, I'm messing.
He's not really.
So yeah, how you doing, guys? 6th episode. This is where the whole team here are going to be talking a little bit more about the more darker kind of things here tonight. The more evil side of things with the hauntings and all that kind of stuff. First of all, I'm not a demonologist, I'm not an exorcist. This is just an interest I have, and this is going to be information that I've gathered over time. So, where did it all begin? They say there was a battle between God and Satan. Satan wasn't going in line, as they'd say, and God cast him out. And any of the angels that agreed with Satan's outlook were cast out of heaven as well, and they're what became the demons. We've probably all seen some movie or a program where there's been a case of demonic possession. Some of the famous ones, I suppose, would be The Exorcist, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and stuff like that. So, giving people a bit of an idea of what are some of the signs of possession. First and foremost, it's always recommend, and of my opinion, I'd always recommend as well, is going to see a medical professional, because you could be dealing with mental health, you could be dealing with drug addiction or stuff like that as well. If that's ruled out, the signs that the exorcist will look out for is speaking in tongues, unnatural strength, and knowing impossible things. So now, I think, Billy, you were speaking in tongues.
I have 3 of those.
3 of those.
Unnatural strength.
So usually, like, the speaking in tongues is a language that the individual could never been exposed to. So for talk's sake, it's like you speaking Irish. No, it's like speaking, like, you know what I mean, like Latin or Hebrew.
But it's ancient tongues.
It's ancient.
Yeah.
That's actually a very good point. I was listening to a couple of things there today, and that's actually true.
Yeah.
They seem to go for all like real old language that's not relatively well known, so to speak. Again, the unnatural strength is where you'd be talking like a small individual like myself would be.
Will be what, lifting a chair?
If there's a bit of sniggering going on here, guys, just
Like this is like every episode. If we
It's an ongoing joke.
yeah, we have a dedicated group of listeners now, and this is the 6th episode where there's been slanderous remarks.
they might actually start to feel sorry for you, Chris.
But no, the unusual strength would be, like a small stature person with unbelievable strength, where it takes like 4 or 5 larger individuals to hold this person down. When they go out of control, it's very hard, it's a huge task to control this person. Kind of like Billy on a Friday night. He's had a few pints.
I don't drink.
But
That's even worse if you don't drink.
it's even sure, don't drink, yeah. But and knowing the impossible things. So again, this individual has like knowledge of stuff that it's impossible for them to know about. So things about, it could be a person in the room that happened long ago. It could be things about the exorcist and themselves that they know about. An interesting thing I actually seen as well is that some places recommend that anyone that's involved with the exorcism should have confession before they go into the room.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, because what the demon can do is bring up past and attack you that way to try put you off. Like, an interesting thing I've seen, Jesus, I am talking a lot.
You are.
My
actually.
apologies, I'm going to let you breathe at some stage, Ari.
Getting back to the ancient language.
So I didn't want to finish my point, but anyway.
I was. what have I done? Have I done it again?
He's done it again.
Have I done it again?
I just want to finish one thing.
Right. We've done it again. Sorry, guys.
Anyway, as I was saying there before Billy interrupted me.
So one of the owners.
But so the whole thing about like the demon attacking or knowing stuff about the person, if they don't do confession or confess their sins, they can bring that up and attack you or distract you that way. But the thing I was going to make, or the point I was going to make before Billy rudely interrupted me,
Bill to you.
Mr. Bill. But like you've probably seen in the movies, like things flying around the room and mirrors cracking and all that kind of stuff. So they reckon why the demon or the forces that are there do that is to distract the people and the exorcist from carrying out their duty, to try get rid of the entity. That's why they do all this kind of distraction and shouting and all that kind of stuff. So
fear is their greatest weapon.
huge one.
Yeah.
Huge one, yeah.
No, I was just going. What I was going to say was the ancient language part. I
Yeah.
think it's Sumerian and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And all those really old languages that people
It
don't
is.
practice anymore.
And this is again, like, obviously there's people out there to study this language and stuff like that, but this is if someone like myself that has never been exposed to any of this kind of language, or never, you might have heard it at some stage, but you wouldn't be fluent in it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, what I suppose, so that was the introduction, I suppose.
Well,
Keep going.
Keep going.
keep going there. In Ireland, there is at least 3
Yeah.
practicing
Yeah.
exorcists.
Yeah.
And they would be, and the reason, there could be loads of people out there doing what they do, which is fine,
Yeah.
but there would be 3 recognised by the
Yeah.
church. It
No,
doesn't
I
have
seen
to
that.
be the Catholic Church, does it? It can be different churches with the same ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But no, you're dead right, and I actually try to find like what's the word, up to date numbers, and
Same.
three was
Yeah.
the number I came back with.
yeah, 1 in Dublin,
Yeah.
1 in Carlow, and 1 in Galway.
Yeah, Galway,
I
yeah.
think, is that it?
We must have been on the same.
Yeah, we were the same. We've had the same story today, Chris. And they're not 3 Catholic priests, are they? Or maybe they are.
I
Maybe
didn't
they.
see that, but no, but you could be right.
Yeah, you see, I wouldn't be religious, so maybe the roots are all from the
Yeah.
same. Maybe they're all sort of
Yeah,
Catholic, branching into different
Yeah.
sectors. But yeah, so there's 3, at least 3 in
Yeah,
Ireland that
yeah.
practice, and yeah, they don't like publicly speak, or they keep themselves
A lot,
sort
on the back, a lot of stuff
yeah.
goes on in the background and stuff like that. But no, it's actually, not going too off subject, but it's actually really cool when you come up with the same figure I seen.
I know,
what I mean?
I know.
And is this in living history, or is this?
But
These
this
are
is
all
like-
still
this is
alive.
now.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
now,
this is now.
Only 2 years, we were saying Pat Collins, only 2 years ago he put out a thing looking for more exorcists that
right.
be trained in
Exactly.
Ireland.
Yeah.
That was that priest, was
Yeah.
it?
Do you want to? I had it saved for later on, but would you believe? Speaking of what you were saying there, Jack, a priest in Italy, I think it was 2018. I think. Don't quote me now, but the figure was staggering from my point of view. Anyway, a priest in Italy claimed that 500,000 people in Italy per year claim to be possessed.
Wow.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's mad. And just, I have to rectify myself there. So Father Collins is a Church of Ireland exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to say he's a Church of Ireland. He's not the Catholic, he's the Church of Ireland.
Yeah. Well, isn't that amazing?
Wow. That's
500,000 in just Italy now.
yeah.
That's mad.
per year.
Per year.
Wow.
And I think it was 2018. Again, you've probably seen yourself, probably has all seen it. It's very hard to get figures that are 2024.
I
You know
know.
what I mean? No, not
Yeah.
obviously the year's not over yet and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I thought that was amazing. I thought that would have been
yeah.
worldwide. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's just Italy.
Just Italy.
That's mad.
Just Italy.
And they say that the numbers are going up.
Going up. Yeah.
Now, whether that is mental or
yeah,
psychological, or
absolutely,
but
absolutely.
they say the amount of people that are getting in touch for help
Yeah.
with demonic
Yeah.
is gone up.
And that's, like as Jake was saying there, that's where that just sparked it in the back of my head there.
Spiritualism and that genre of the paranormal and stuff, a lot more people are interested in it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Like they would have been like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of coming back full circle again.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because there's so much media hype about possession and entities and things like that.
Fresh to me, fear.
Speaking of fear, Chris, what are the 3 manifestations of possession?
It's accurate. Would you believe, before I researched, I was taught, what would you have taught 3?
I thought it was
I thought it
3.
was 5.
5?
Isn't it?
So I done again, it varies.
Yeah.
But the most common ones I've seen, it's 4.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus, right, fair enough.
Well, I've seen, there can be like, I've seen different things, but it's infestation,
Infestation, yeah.
oppression, obsession,
Okay.
and then possession.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's,
And what it is,
rings a bell.
what we're going to do, we'll actually talk about each one of them. I think a little bit further. I think to see what our thoughts are on it. So the infestation is the first step, or first part, as we should say, where the individual hears voices, knocks and bangs,
Taps and stuff.
footsteps, like the rotten smell,
Disembodied voices.
all that kind of stuff, and things moving around the house or the building, whatever it is. A thing that I kind of noted as well, the first bits of these can be very like other hauntings. Do you know what I mean? So it's like try weave their way into the person's life to
It can be
think.
deceiving.
That's the word. Exactly.
They want to deceive.
Exactly. And again, with the whole kind of knocks and bangs, you'd be kind of saying, is it really, or is it just in my head? And that's when, as I was looking at it, it's like it advances to the next one.
You
then
kind of
onto the
drop
next
your
one.
guard.
Exactly.
You know, yeah,
exactly.
so-
The thing is, they're trying to break the person down, mentally, physically, emotionally. That's
Psychologically.
That's when the big attack, as they say, happens. Then, infestation. What would have meant the same thing to you? Yeah, that kind of scenario.
Yeah.
It's like they're invading the house, or invading the person, or invading the building.
Yeah,
You know.
it's not all about in the movies where you see an infestation of insects and stuff.
But
like
yeah.
that. It's infestation the person,
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it's a very kind of the way.
encompassing them.
It's a very individual attack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oppression is when it becomes physical.
Yeah,
It's moved on now to the kind of, right, we've got in past the voices, the bangs, and that there is something here or something happening. It's not friendly.
and they're pushing people away. That
Exactly. There you go. Absolutely, yeah, true.
Yeah.
And I think to remind people again, this is not all friendly knocks and bangs. This is kind of bangs in the middle of the night to wake you up and, throw stuff across
lack
the
of
floor.
sleep.
Lack of sleep. That's actually the obsession part of
Yeah,
it. Very good. Have you been reading up on this, Billy?
I am a demon.
I'm just going to hand over to Billy. But the oppression part of it is, again, physical. So that's when the kind of sleep disruption. But in the oppression part of it, it's impossible to sleep. It's gone beyond sleep now. Like the person.
And what happens when somebody doesn't sleep for 48 hours? Hallucinations.
Oh yeah.
And
So the physical attack is illness, sleep deprivation. This is some of the stuff that I've seen today. Anxiety, employment issues, all that kind of stuff. A very important thing that I've seen as well. This can all happen in a normal sense of life. But the thing is, when it's believed to be the oppression or demonic oppression, is it if it all happens at once or in very quick succession. That's what the belief is there. Other signs can be bite marks, scratches, and all that kind of stuff on the body in places, just to note, in places where the person can't reach themselves.
Yeah.
So in other words, your elbow.
but
Or on your
these
back.
4 signs haven't changed in thousands of years. They still are the same.
I think you're right. Like again, as you were saying, Jack, 5 and 3. I think the components are
I
the
thought it
same.
was 3, yeah.
But I think they've kind of just split it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Subdivided it.
So exactly, subdivided. That's exactly it. Obsession, I would have thought was infestation, oppression, and possession.
I thought obsession would be first if you're into the dark arts or something like that. I don't
Well,
know.
that's a good point as well, because they're saying that's when you're inviting it in and you willingly give away like your whole
Part of you, yeah.
exactly to it, which I'm going to actually highlight a little bit later on as well, which is an interesting thing to see what you think on it. But anyway,
Don't do this at home, kids.
so then obsession is when the individual can't think of anything else but the demonic activity that's happening. So they're just bombarded, like they cannot get away from it at all. And that's when you were saying about the sleep thing, Billy, it's impossible to sleep.
Sleep deprivation, yeah.
Thoughts of suicide and all that kind of stuff goes through the person's head as well. It's just the way I suppose you look at it, it's just a constant wave that I'm here or it's here and I want you. It's as simple as that. The last thing then is possession. So possession is where the person's free will is just overwhelmed. It's literally broken down completely, just completely gone. The demon or demons takes occasional control of the person. So again, of their actions and all that kind of stuff. And the thing I found out, or kind of researched as well, the person's soul is not taken over. It's just the body.
Yeah. You
That's
can't
what I
take
was
over
reading
the
up
soul,
on.
yeah.
And just wanted to highlight, do you know why? Why do you think that is? Or why do you think that's believed why that is?
Because people have been christened.
Very good. Any idea?
Is this like in a history class? Very good.
For people that
And
don't,
what
for
do you-
people that can't see us, I'm pointing at Billy, literally pointing at him going, very good.
And then pointing at me.
I'm actually,
You know?
I'm actually,
Oh, what do you think?
I'm
Tina?
actually smiling. I feel like I'm top of the class here.
Yeah, Billy's in the A.
I'm getting the gold star for you, Billy.
Me and Jake are D's.
No,
No, well, he'd be a B. I'm the D, sorry.
no.
Oh, you're an A.
I'm the don't sat here.
Keep that in.
Well, what do you think? So you're like, again,
Believe because they believe in God, and it's their belief in the good, I suppose.
yeah. So here's the thing, right?
Well, I think you have to give it permission to take the soul, don't you?
Interesting topic, interesting point.
But it's
No,
not.
you're right.
It's not a physical object.
I'm still pointing. Sorry, guys, I'm still pointing.
It's not a physical object as
Right.
well, which
Yourself, Jack?
Enlighten me.
everything's been.
You're in detention for that.
Enlighten me.
So, again, this was fresh to me because the soul is not your soul is not yours to give. It's
Aha.
God owns your soul.
So I was
God's
the
got-
nearest to that.
Oh,
Same.
that's debatable.
And like,
Do you want to
so the
debate
whole,
that?
do you know the whole thing of like selling your soul to the devil? Apparently, that's impossible. You can only sell your body, not your soul.
So who owns your soul?
God,
What if you don't believe in God?
you're still created by Him. Oh, by the way, this is not my beliefs now. I'm just highlighting.
Is that the way it works? Though?
That's apparently, if you don't believe, it's still, you're made in His likeness and He created you in His likeness. Just to re-clarify, this is stuff I've read. Yeah, you can't sell your soul because you don't own it.
But just while you're on that one there, I'm wondering if somebody doesn't, so let's say if somebody had problems, this is an interesting question
Yeah.
that I want your opinions on. If somebody does not believe in God and they are suffering with demons
Yeah,
or they
yeah.
feel, can you not help them because they don't believe in God?
I think, in my opinion, you can only
Yeah.
help someone that wants to be helped.
Because when they go into your house, exorcisms and let's say demonologists and things
Yeah.
like that, they all go in working with religion.
Yeah.
So let's say they go into your house and you say, I don't want any religion in my house. I'm being attacked and all of that.
Well, then that would be they don't want to be helped.
Yeah, see,
That's
then
what
the
it explains,
exorcism doesn't happen because you have to consent
I
to the
get you.
exorcism.
Yeah.
And you have to be willingly,
Because the people have asked me that before.
yeah. No, you have, in my opinion, in my opinion, you have to want help
So you'll do anything to get that
to
help.
get the help. Absolutely, yeah.
But they say, I know I'm not getting philosophical here, but they say that good will overcome evil
Yeah.
all the time anyway. So if
So
a
they
person might be
say.
agnostic or atheist, but if something good happens to them, that might help them overcome
Yeah.
that possession.
But I just,
Love or whatever.
yeah. Again, that was on a thing. It was actually an exorcist. Was it? I can't remember the man's name. My apologies. That said that because the soul's not yours to sell.
The one thing that the devil or the demons want to do is break the family unit. They want to rip.
Oh, they want to rid all that.
Yeah, they want
rid all
to
that,
rip
yeah.
you away from, or the person away from everything that loves them. So if that bond can't be broken, I presume the devil or Satan or whoever is trying to.
Yeah. So actually, no, you're dead right, and it brings to another point. The reason demons go after people is because apparently they despise everything God. So
Stands
we're
for.
made in His image and all that kind of stuff, and they want us to sin, to literally turn our backs on God. and step away from him, and that's when the attack comes in then. That's what they want to do, and that's where they kind of triumph, you know what I mean? But I just thought, I'm not trying to restart it, but I just thought that was very interesting.
No, it's an interesting
Heard about
subject.
the soul not being able to...
Yeah, no, that's
It was
really, 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 but that's from a Catholic or a church. I won't say Catholic because there's a lot of denominations underneath the church,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But every religion has possession.
Or a lot of religions have,
yeah.
if not them all, I won't say them all because they're not.
Maybe not them all, but
don't-
most of the religions that we've
have
heard
forms
of
of exorcisms.
have forms of exorcism.
Do you remember in the last podcast, it was a 350,000 Babylonian tablet that was
That's right.
from an
Yeah.
exorcism guide or something like that?
Yeah, that's right.
Which
Yeah,
goes a long time ago.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mad, isn't it?
But it's like in the Irish mythology, Don, Don is the Lord of the Underworld.
Yeah, that's an interesting one now, Willie. Go into that a little bit more.
You know, and Bull Rock, I think, off the southwest coast of Ireland is supposed to be his domain,
Yeah.
I guess, where he wants the dead to dwell with him.
That's
But
interesting. I
that's
didn't
the
know.
Irish culture, that's in the Irish mythology, so I'm sure just getting back to what we were talking about a moment ago with religions and stuff like that every culture has some form of demon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I think
And some of them are terrifying, like some of
yeah.
them are.
Well, even the 7 deadly sins have a demon associated with that. Every sin, more or less, is a demon that's for that sin, more or less.
Associated.
And I think I read before as well that it's believed, and some people believe, fairies,
yeah.
like in folklore, that they're fallen angels, and that's why fairies are afraid of priests. If you get the house, like if you think the fairies are after, get the house blessed and all that, they'll just run away from a priest and all that kind of stuff. No,
Well, local
that's a while
law.
ago when I looked at that.
There's a local story about that where there was a cross on a church, and 150 years ago, whatever, the parish priest believed that there was fairies dancing around it, and he had it buried on the church grounds. And 4 or 5 years ago, it was rediscovered and it's standing again. But that's one of those stories where,
Really?
yeah,
Love it.
Oh,
that's local.
It's only when you think it, like it's actually crazy.
Local story.
So, demonic imagery and symbolism and all that kind of stuff. I suppose one of the most famous ones now at this stage that's been possessed was the wrong word. I was going to say possessed. That's been used, I suppose, is the upside down cross.
Yeah.
And we've probably all seen that before in some way, shape, or form in all the movies and whatever. The cross turns upside down and there's demons here. All that. Do you know where that originated?
I actually do, but I cannot remember.
It wasn't a sign of evil at all.
No,
it was actually.
It's the
don't get it
crucifixion.
wrong.
Yeah, crucifixion. That's the way they used to crucify them.
Yeah, so St. Peter,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
if I
right.
remember correctly, I'm nearly sure it's St. Peter, didn't want to be crucified in the same way Jesus was. So he opted to be crucified upside down because he didn't feel he was as.
Yeah,
He didn't have the same stature or the same kind of prevalence
it
as
has
what Jesus
nothing to
is.
do with the with
It is
the
at St.
demonology.
Peter's cross.
It is St.
I
Peter.
think that's
yeah.
would that be just part of a modern kind of myth? Then, like movies have kind of,
Well,
because movies have a huge role to play in it as well.
A phenomenal amount. Like you think of
All
it's
the
not just-
possession movies, you know.
Yeah.
No,
What
I've
do you think,
seen
Jake?
I've seen people arguing online about the upside down cross, like
Yeah.
having tattoos of it and wearing it around your neck.
Yeah.
And people have said, have been given out about it, and they've come back with, it's the cross of St. Peter.
Across the St. Peter, yeah.
That's what some people
Yeah.
wear, like, to symbolise that.
It's the sign. Maybe this could be completely a sign of modesty or something like that. Was
I'm not
Something
sure.
like
I know it is the sign of St. Peter, the cross of St.
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah, it is
but I'm
sign
not
of St.
sure
Peter.
what the.
like he didn't feel. Yeah, it was something like he didn't feel that he was of the same level as Jesus, or upside down.
Yeah.
That's I think, as well as seen somewhere before, that there was actually a pope's staff
Yeah.
with the upside down
The
cross
upside
on
down cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Just
about
interesting.
666 and the pentagram and all? Would it they'd be?
it. Yeah, and see, the pentagram was an inverted version of Jesus. What was the pentagram? Oh my God, brain freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, so the upside down cross was developed because, again, it's the opposite of what that
Right,
was.
yeah.
And then the pentagram with the goat and all that kind of stuff is the opposite of what is it, Star Dave? Am I thinking of
I
something?
think it
completely
might be the Star David.
Sorry guys, I just had a massive brain freeze there.
Poor goats. Jesus.
The goats. Yeah.
Poor goats. Do you know what I mean? They get an awful time.
Oh,
awful
stop.
time.
But again, see again, cloven hoof. What's the devil always depicted of having? Cloven hoof. And what animals have cloven hooves? Goats.
Llamas.
Yeah.
So many creatures.
I was waiting for you to say a horse was going to lip on you. Well, isn't it
You're
just
going to
it's
lip on
interesting?
me because I said horse. That's a bit of a double.
Well, yeah, to see, because cloven hooves. No, horses don't have cloven hooves. But no, it's just interesting, yeah, that the devil is depicted having a cloven hoof, and that's why
Yeah.
goats and all that are, yeah.
And people, they think that demonic possession and things like that just doesn't exist in Ireland.
Yeah.
They think it's American, which
Oh,
is
yeah,
so funny,
yeah.
like things that have been said to me over the years.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to jump into
Absolutely.
one case of demonic
Of course,
possession in Ireland. And it's only a few facts I have. It's not the full story or anything. And it was in County Derry. And Father Collins, I've really just not researched this properly, as in Father Collins, was he a Catholic or Church of Ireland? Because I've just read Father Collins, he went in to help this family with a Church of Ireland exorcist, Canon William Lendrum. Did you hear him?
Yeah.
So the two of them went in to help this family. What happened was the householders, they were terrified and they fled their home. So they were absolutely,
Yeah.
you heard of this
I think that's the
one?
exact one.
Yeah, well, you can add in, because I don't have all the
no.
facts, but they were absolutely terrified and they didn't know what to do. And when they had explained to people in their area what was going on, the people in the area thought, okay, you know, that could be demons and you could
He's
be
a
getting
Catholic
possessed.
priest.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jake.
A Vincentian Catholic priest.
Because that would wreck me head. That's wreck me
No, you're
head.
fine. Listen,
The little details you forget about.
you can't remember everything.
Yeah.
But so they went in, but seemingly the Father William Ledrum and Father Collins, two of them had
Yeah.
witnessed holy water boiling.
Well, that's the one I did see.
Yeah, the holy water,
freeze.
and then freezing within a second. And the crucifix was thrown around the house, and so all of that. But when they done the rites of exorcism and everything calmed down and
Yeah,
went back to
yeah.
normal, but they classed that as
Yeah.
the house, like they classed that as demons, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And again, after that, they said, just because you were looking at your notes
Two
and
of
I'm
us.
looking at me notes.
I know, and we've the
that's
same.
That's one of the, so that was in County Derry,
Yes.
and water, all that kind of stuff. And they said, and yeah, the card of Saint Michael burst into flames,
I'm just reading that now. Yeah.
and the male occupant started vomiting during it and all that kind of
vomiting.
stuff as well. But yeah, apparently they freed the home of the demon or whatever you want to call her, the entity. But yeah, that's one that is documented. Interestingly, I had never heard of this one, and I'm just, because I have 4 kind of indications here that you're saying, Tina, about everyone thinks it's in America and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, they think it's so American.
yeah, and I just want to get your 3 opinions on this now, just to see what you think about it, alright? So this is a place called Curra Chase House in County Limerick. Ever hear of it?
No.
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 Okay.
I've heard of Limerick.
You've heard of
Yeah, just for everybody out there.
Apparently in the diary, again, my sincerest apologies to anyone listening if I mess up these names, because you know me and pronouncing stuff now at this stage. So in a diary by Monica and Mary Guilbard, again, my apologies, it is said that in the 1930s, Devereux and the servants were being tormented by footsteps, doors opening and closing, furniture moving, and there was an apparition of a boy as well. Now, no, it's not technically like demons or what that kind of stuff, which the first bit could be like infestation and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the lady contacted her father, who was a bishop, Hanley Mall of Durham of England, who carried out an exorcism, and he said he got rid of a restless spirit or restless spirits out of the house. But that was another exorcism that was carried out in County Limerick.
Wow.
Did you ever hear that?
I've never heard of that one.
Genuinely never heard of it myself, and this was on like a documented thing as well. Now in a diary. Now, again, did it happen? We obviously go on the word of people that.
But if there's 3 exorcists in Ireland,
Yeah.
you know, they're there for a reason.
Oh, absolutely.
There are
Yeah.
exorcisms done that we don't know about.
Now, no, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And again, as I said, that's the 1930s that happened, and so you'd have to go back a long way to try to validate.
What steps are taken by the church to get to the point of an exorcism?
Yeah, so
You need permission, don't you?
you need permission, you need authorization.
Because the priests need it goes through a chain, doesn't it?
And see, that's the thing as well. You have to go down the route, which I totally agree with. Get professional medical surveys, the wrong word. What word? Examination is the word I'm looking for. Obviously, first to make sure it's not a thing to do with obviously physical, mental, and other influences. But then you've probably all seen in the movies and all. You have to get proof of demonic activity, which is what we outlined, like the speaking in tongues, the levitations, and things being smashed around the house and like strength and all. So once that's
Proven. It's like the three miracles, I presume, or the miracles. It's kind of like the
you have
opposite.
to get proof, and then I think is it the bishop? I think it's the bishop that has to give the go-ahead for the exorcism, and then he obviously contacts
the Vatican.
And again, the exorcists to come in and...
Yeah, because I think the last word has to come, I'm not sure, but the last word has to come from the Vatican, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's the Vatican, the Pope who gives, or his little helpers, whoever. Whoever helps the Pope.
I'm going to have to edit that bit out.
I'm just going to raise the volume on that little bit there. It's just everybody is very certain of what Tina said.
Did you know as well, which a thing I found interesting during my refresher of research, a cleansing or a priest can get rid of the first three steps: the infestation, the oppression, and the obsession, but it has to be an exorcist involved with a possession.
Yeah.
Isn't it mad?
Yeah, I knew that you can go ahead and do a deliverance, by
exactly,
whoever, but then you have to stop at a certain
if
stage.
it's possession.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
It's a cut-off point. But the Ireland thing, do you mind? I'll finish the last two cases and we'll have a quick chat about them.
Yeah.
I just love talking. So...
we know.
We
fucking know. Jeez. I think our listeners know as well.
So,
Luckily we have a podcast.
I'll tell you how long... I was just saying before we started. How much gigs have you got on that?
All of them.
Have you got another laptop?
Yeah.
Good man. Episode 2.2. Or 6.6. 6.
This is the sixth one, isn't it?
This is 6.6.
6.
So here's another thing I found out, guys. See, did you hear about this? So in October of 1982, in the Dundalk Democrat, which was obviously a newspaper, I don't know if it still is, maybe people less know if it is or not, there was an article that was posted in it where Father Dara Malloy warned his congregation against the use of Ouija boards. He told the story of a girl, her friends were using the boards, and at some stage her middle name was spelt out on the board. Obviously got a bit of a fright or whatever you want to call it. She began to feel a presence, and she was starting to be kept awake at night, which leads into what we were talking about earlier on about the sleep being attacked and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the sleep being attacked, not her. She told her mother about it, who took her to a priest for help. Now the article didn't say any more of what came after that, or was she, but it just goes to show that was in the newspaper. And we get into the whole situation of Ouija boards. What is your opinion on Ouija boards?
My opinion, I won't touch them, personally.
Why is that?
I actually don't know, I just don't.
Is it just, again, and I'm just not me being a fucker, was it just, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it the whole lure, or is it the whole kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Reputation.
I don't even know that. I feel at odds with myself because I don't believe in them, but I won't touch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the years I've known you, nearly 10 years now, you'd always have felt the same with, and I've never said to you,
and it's not that I'm afraid to use it.
Would you just go ahead and do it? I've never, and I think with you, it's nearly like you, I always say you're a bit sensitive.
Yeah.
I
cry at movies.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. Not just stubbing your toe like you. But he, I think it's that with you.
Yeah.
But my view on Ouija boards is, like, I don't touch them either. And it's definitely...
You have?
Yeah.
You have, because I've seen it, yeah.
But I have. I've gone onto the board and done all that. I don't touch them in a serious way, as in trying to call a spirit onto the board, because I just don't believe in it.
Yeah.
I just really don't believe in it. And that's being honest with you. But I've been in the room with people who do believe, and they have reactions, and that's fine. I don't use it to communicate with the dead. I just don't.
Yeah. Well, sorry, just before we go to Jake, one could argue
Yeah.
that interest and investigating into paranormal is kind of akin to the same thing anyway, because you're still contacting.
You're communicating.
You're communicating.
It's all the same.
Sorry,
Ouija
Jake.
boards, yeah.
What do you think?
No, I don't think they're as sinister as everyone thinks.
Mm.
I think they could just, if you use a Ouija board and have a car accident in the morning, it was probably just going to happen anyway.
It's the
in my
intention.
opinion.
Coincidence.
But it's still a physical object that can be, in theory, can be used to communicate with spirits, you know. But I don't think it's used just for contacting bad spirits that are going to harm you, you know.
I just want to capitalise on what Billy said, because I would be the same opinion about Ouija boards, by the way. I think I said this long and ever ago. I don't believe a board
Piece of wood.
can contact, you know, you can do it. But what I did, I've either read it or heard it. Someone said about Ouija boards, but the difference with a Ouija board is that you're welcoming something in to influence your body. Where I would have said it's the planchette, but influence your body to move the planchette.
So it's a conduit, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the person's always the
So you're
conduit.
given a bit of permission.
You're
there
given permission, and that's what they're
to
saying.
control you, you know?
That's the difference between is there
Well, I
anything in
mean,
this.
they have a point there as well.
Yeah, of
But
course.
they say that the planchette is the conduit, but I always think it's the person.
I would have said planchette. It's the planchette that's moving. In again, I don't believe it.
But then you're given the permission.
you know,
And all demonic cases start with permission.
certain kind of
some kind of
breakdown or
permission,
step in or you know what I mean. Now,
But I mean, I have to say, the four of us, the years we're doing the investigating now, that's not a way that any of us would investigate.
oh no.
You know, now it's different public investigations,
course,
that's fine.
There's people that want to use them.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
totally fine.
Yes.
But I'm saying, as a team, the four of us would never go on an investigation with a Ouija board in the bag. And it's not because, we have morals and that's not the reason why. It's because we personally don't use that for
It's just not our
communication.
style.
It's just not our style.
Imagine-
Exactly, Jake.
Imagine rocking up to like a private house investigation
Oh,
with
stop.
slapping out the Ouija board onto the table.
Yeah, that's not the way you do that.
Could you actually imagine it?
It's bad enough rocking up with you, Chris. Jesus Christ.
Do you remember you with the mask? Oh my God. Anyway.
But the last one I just want to highlight, which I thought was interesting, was in August of 1986. The Cork Examiner, again another newspaper I'm assuming, probably still going today, had an article, and the title of the article was "Priests Exorcise Shrine of Devil's Shadow."
Yeah, I read that today.
Good headline.
Isn't it? That would grab you.
Everyone has to go, "Ooh."
Especially what, in the 80s?
Was it front page,
page.
honest to God?
Front page
In the 80s.
Wasn't
in the
page.
80s. So what did you say there?
Skip that. Anyway, go on, Chris.
So moving on to finish my point. Billy always interrupts. Priests exercise Shrine of Devil's Shadow. 2 priests carried out an unauthorised
Unauthorised.
exorcism at a shrine in West Cork. The name of the shrine was on it, but I didn't want to give it away. I don't want whatever.
There'd be 200 people at that shrine in the morning.
Just out of respect, I didn't want to give the name of the shrine, but it's in Cork.
Yeah.
So a girl claimed that she saw the sign of the devil while she was praying there, and the 2 priests were there at the time with other pilgrims, and obviously once they heard this, they carried out a blessing at the grotto, which I don't know if that's an exorcism per se, but they call it an unauthorised exorcism. But I want to know what the sign was. Like, I didn't go into
What
all
year
that.
was that, Chris?
Huh?
What year was that?
It was
86.
1986.
86.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Great year.
That was a great year.
Master
Great year.
puppets.
Master of puppets.
Master of puppets.
What is 30...
37 years old
37 years?
yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. There you
But it's not a metal podcast. Back into water.
go.
Damn.
Could be next week, though.
Could be metal detectors.
But so apparently they were praying at this shrine, and this young girl said she seen the sign of the devil or whatever the sign. I don't know what the sign was. And again, upon hearing that, the priest carried out a blessing.
Do you know what the sign was?
Yeah.
We're all very curious. If anybody's read about it or has any information on it, let us know.
Yeah, send us a message.
Definitely.
That's interesting.
Quick question. It's still on topic. It's just demons. Okay, they've never walked
The art.
the earth, as in, like, with spirits and what?
Dina?
Throat burp.
Guys, if you heard something like
Tina
a
just stood on a
gargle kind of roar,
trying to get
it was
out
Tina
there.
belching into the mic.
Did you have your dinner, Tina?
What were you going to say, Billy?
Okay, so different types of demons.
Yeah.
What are the different types? Chris?
Long hair, short hair.
There's just one type of demon.
No,
no?
yeah, like you can
There are
have.
there's different rankings of
There's
demons.
different rankings.
Rankings, that's
yeah.
it.
It's like
You'd be here all day.
again,
talking.
there is different rankings.
Thanks
Like
for
you have
that,
the
Billy.
kind of soldier ants,
Soldier ants, war
and you've
ants.
got the higher up the ladder, and then you've got the main man himself, which is
Main man.
and the higher up the ladder you go, if you're being attacked or there's demonic activity by higher up the ladder, it's of course what I was saying, it's harder to get rid of that. I read before as well, you've probably heard of Gabriel Amart.
I was reading about him today as well.
I'm nearly because you've read that book as well. No, you read
Yeah.
it, Jake.
He's the most well known.
He's one of the most famous exorcists out there. And was it in that book, Jake? Because I cannot remember where
Oh, God.
it was something like.
I've read a few.
He said it was something to do with complete possession, where it's a step beyond possession.
Yeah.
It's like total possession, where that's a lost cause.
It's a
I was
lost
going to
cause,
say,
yeah.
you can't help them.
You can't
They're a
help them,
lost
it's gone.
cause. They
Yeah.
can never be brought
It's
back.
gone
Yeah.
That
beyond that.
demon has crossed the threshold,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
It's gone beyond that. Do you know how many exorcisms he's meant to have carried out?
Many.
I couldn't get an exact figure because every site or every whatever you want to call it, different figures. But the most
Average.
common one I seen, 60,000.
Wow.
That was in the article I was reading today.
60,000 exorcisms.
But aren't you two just wonderful?
I can't believe we were reading the same fucking article.
Wow. These are connected. There's something here. This is the higher level PRI that me and Jake don't know about.
With me and Tina are going to start a new podcast called PRI. But no, 1,000 exorcisms is a lot of work. I'm not trying to say he didn't do it, but how many would that be a year?
Yeah. Is he alive or dead
Oh,
now?
he's the man's dead, yeah.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Well, he would be after that. For fuck's sake.
He's tired anyway.
But that's a lot of now
A lot
That's
more.
over his lifetime or
over his lifetime.
Okay.
When he was-
About 100.
how many would that be a year? Jake's on the
What age
calculator.
was he?
I think he was in his 80s.
So what age would
He
you have
had a good
started
bit of
at?
life.
I think he was
What
in his
age would you
80s.
have started at?
Well, I don't have his whole life
Jake's our
story here, Billy.
mathematician.
Well, you should.
Jake's our mathematician here. He's fabulous.
Well, no, but let's not, like 60,000, even 10,000.
It'll be about two a
The
day.
grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 in.
Jesus Christ.
It'll be about two a day.
2 a day.
Because he
Duke of York.
was 30,000 days, so.
Wow.
So
Two a
that's-
day.
Jake on his phone there has 29,200. So what is that? That's
Two a day, basically.
2 a day.
60,000.
Wow. That's like 2 meals.
isn't that crazy?
No days off.
No days off.
What did he do on Sundays?
What-
Wasn't a day of
Exorcisms?
rest.
Overtime?
Friday of a Saturday.
Or bank
wasn't
bank
a day of
holidays?
rest.
Never.
He is actually one of the
Oh,
most
bank
well
holiday.
known, if not the most well known
He was.
exorcists in the world.
Yeah.
And in that book as well, he was saying, all about demons and how the demonic attack and all that kind of stuff. And he was saying about the devil, his appearance. Does he come after you with the big long horns and the,
Hooves
all that
and
kind of
red
stuff?
and
And the interesting thing he said was that, no, the devil can come after you in any form he thinks he'll take advantage of you of. So
yeah, I heard that the devil is your worst fear.
yeah, and can be an energy. The devil is an energy and can appear. It can manipulate. It can do whatever he wants. That he feels he'll get advantage of you or work his way into your life.
That makes sense.
Yeah, go ahead, Billy. I see you leaning forward there.
No, I'm just going to a little burp
Sneeze?
actually, or something. I think.
Who's one of the most famous Irish exorcists?
Oh, Malachy. Yeah,
Martin,
Father
yeah, there
Malachy
you go.
Martin.
I read his book as well, which was Hostage to the Devil.
Yeah.
That's a
Did you,
Very
Chris?
interesting read, huh?
Sorry, Billy.
Did you,
can't read.
Chris? Really?
I did
Good
indeed.
for you.
I
All joking.
think a lot of his work was in America.
Yeah, I was going to say he didn't live and work in Ireland.
Yeah,
he was
'cause
abroad.
he was
wasn't
born in Kerry, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And then he went out to America and all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not going to get into his cases because I wanted to keep it more Ireland. No disrespect to other countries in the world, because there are other countries out there. You're I would like to endorse the entire world.
What?
But you know, one thing I found, and this is jumping again, we can go back. One case of what was it? Possession that was put forward in court in Ireland.
Oh, yes.
So I'm not even going to say the year. I'm not going to say anything. I just found it really interesting today when I was doing the bit of research into what we were doing today, and Chris had read it as well.
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah, Chris had read it as well. But it was a guy and his girlfriend, and she was dating him 3 years, and he had beaten her up. And when they went to court, she had said he had beaten her up. He said that she was possessed, and he was doing an exorcism on her.
Yeah.
And he put that forward in his defence. Put that forward as his defence, and he walked. He got away with it.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I don't know anything about the case. I just found it interesting.
You're just outlining that was
That was a case
in Ireland.
And when I read into the whole case now, you know, you could look it up or whatever. I don't want to go into it because it's a real case. But when you read up to it, there was a lot saying that maybe she had other things going on, and you know, but he had been documenting this. Did you read that, Chris? Like, he had videos and photographs and all of injuries that she had over the year and all. He said she was possessed, and she allowed him to take photographs and videos of scratches and bruises. And so when she went into court, it was sort of like, you know, what was those ones from 6 months ago, and what was them from 2 months ago? And so you're saying now that he done this, but 2 months ago who done it? And it was just mad. But he did get away. Yeah, he was acquitted.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
And don't forget as well, I want to capitalise on what you're saying. You guys actually met, because you're just after saying, what do you think of that? But remember, you met Arnie Johnson.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. Not you, Billy.
Yeah, Billy, you weren't there.
Look at
Billy, you
this
weren't
ghost
there.
on my face right now. If anybody could
Billy looked at me and I'm like, no, it wasn't you, Billy.
I know.
So just give the listeners a little, like, I don't mean the whole, because again, that's nearly another podcast, but quick little introduction of who he was or what he did. Or
Go on, Jake, you.
He was, God, put me on the spot. It was a case that Ed and Lorraine Warren were working on about a possessed child his name was David, and the sister of the child, her boyfriend, is said to have, trying to, you know, get the demon away from the child, was said to have invited the demon onto himself.
To help the child.
Said, leave him alone, you can take me, whatever. No, apparently the child wasn't possessed anymore. And what ended up happening was Arnie Johnson ended up stabbing his landlord.
Yeah.
To death, basically. Obviously he was arrested, whatever, but when it went to trial, he claimed that he was working with Ed and Lorraine Warren, and he claimed that he was possessed. And yeah, he went from getting life in prison for murder to only, I think it was 5 years for manslaughter. And yeah, me and Tina met him last year in America.
At the
Warrens.
The Warrens occult.
Secrets of the Supernatural Phantasmicon.
Yeah.
That was it, Chris.
And
What's that word? Phantasmic.
so the film that was based on that, what was the film called? Because
The Devil Made Me Do It.
The
Yeah.
Conjuring,
The
Conjuring.
The Devil is for, yeah.
so people would probably be
Three,
more aware of those films. So when you say Arnie Johnson then, but we walked over to, he's only around 5 foot, isn't he?
Yeah, fairly
I'm taller
small,
than him, and I'm 5'5", so I'm tall.
5'5".
I'm 5'5" in me runners, I am.
I'm 5'5".
In a trench.
And he's shorter than me.
Yeah.
He could have been kneeling down.
What was it like meeting him?
Could have been. He was lovely. He's just absolutely lovely, isn't he, Jake?
Yeah, he was lovely,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I got his book, and
I got a book.
it doesn't really cover him as much in the movie.
Yeah, I read the book as well, and
So
I
the
actually
book
recommend it.
Is a lot more informative on him now
As a person, like.
as a person, yeah, what actually happened, you know. And then the documentary on Netflix, The Devil on Trial,
I have to still check that out.
goes
Actually.
Mm.
into it as well, which is actually a really good documentary because it's not biased. It gives both sides,
Yeah.
people who believed and didn't believe,
Yeah.
which is always good.
It seems like we're talking about books, and I want to give a kind of not really a shout out because I don't know the individual, but there was a good book I read based on just possessions and exorcisms in Ireland. I think you got that as well. didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah,
It's called The Dark Sacrament.
Yeah, The Dark Sacrament.
If you
Yeah,
want to
give
check that
that a
out, if you want to check
call.
that out, definitely check it out. Again, a lot of stuff I've listened to over the years has been YouTube and reading books and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot
And
of
just-
information out there.
While we're on the book end of it,
Yeah.
just a quick 2-minute. People that listen to us will also know that Chris Rush, horror author, bestseller, he is the one that's been, burning the ears off you for the last, 6 episodes. But Chris has books out, so Chris, just give a little to your books there while we're on books.
I designed one of the covers for them.
And Billy designed one of the covers.
This was
And
not.
I got my name mentioned
were
in
in
one.
one, yeah.
Sorry, Jake, you got nothing. But go on.
Yeah. We'll work it. We'll speak after.
Jake bought one and gave it back.
One and threw it in the fire. This was not pre-scripted or pre-planned. Actually, none of it's pre-scripted or pre-planned.
no.
Look at him.
Just
Would
know
you
it.
give your book a little drop there, Chris, as well?
Chris, quick, your head's getting quick.
I can't remember. No. Right, okay, listen, appreciate it. And first of all, the support from PRI's always fucking fantastic. The support from all my friends is fantastic. And everyone reads books is fantastic. For anyone who hasn't read my books, I
Yes.
have 7 of them. Folklore, All Shall Suffer, The Legend of Loftus Hall, which Billy done the cover design for.
I did.
Ooh,
I've got 13 Dead, Folklore, The Second Tale, Within Their Screams, and Folklore, The Third Tale.
that's it.
There we go.
And they're absolutely brilliant
They're
books.
phenomenal.
And they'd be on same line of what we're talking about.
Yeah,
you know what
there'd
I
be a little
mean?
bit of
They're all
activity in
good.
there.
Yeah, a little bit woo, a little bit whoa.
So if you have a little bit, so if you have the interest in that, definitely give the books.
Oh, thanks so
a
much,
listen.
guys.
And
I
they're on
wasn't-
the. You can
So
order
Amazon,
them.
you can get them off
Yeah.
myself. I can post them to you, or just
Yeah.
go onto my website, or
Don't give him your
What's your
address.
website?
don't give me your
Don't
address.
give him your address. Whatever you do, there's
Because
4
we've had
stages.
4
That'll be the
cases.
first stage.
The little school left on the footpath.
That'll be the first stage.
What's your
Being
website?
watched.
It's www.chrisrushauthor.com, and you can find me on all the socials under Chris Rush Author, horror or horror author. You get me on there, you'll find me with my
Brilliant.
big series head on me.
Yeah, and Amazon and
Yeah, all the good sites.
Stalker.com.
Jesus.
I think we'll be breaking this into a part 2 anyway, because we're coming up on an hour now anyway.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
It'll be,
one
it'll be a,
brilliant.
I do want to ask one question. Listen, first of all, thanks so much, guys, for that. I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. Tina threw in the little thing there. I wanted to ask one thing before we do knock off, because we probably will. Mightn't be the next episode, but we might do another episode.
It will be the next
It will
one.
be
It'll definitely be the next episode.
possession. Right? And I'm going to go around the table. Yes or no? Is it real? Does it happen, or can it happen?
oh, it's going to take too long.
I won't.
Quick one from me
Yeah.
is it's open to interpretation. It's like
Right.
us going to an investigation. Did it happen? Did it not happen? So
Yeah.
can't say yes, can't say
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
And to me, I can't say yes or no because just because I don't believe something, it doesn't mean that it can't happen.
True, yeah.
That's
yeah, yeah.
because I'm not that person. So that's 2 of us saying can't say yes or no. Jake,
All the books I've read and all the, they are reliable sources. They're people who have devoted their lives to exorcisms, to this area, so it's hard to, it'd be hard to dismiss all of that. Do you know what I mean? That kind of way.
would you
It's
be
hard
more
to-
on the line of yes or no?
I couldn't say I fully believe it, and I couldn't say it's not real. I am on the fence. I'm not
Can't
just
get a
trying
straight
to.
answer, is
I'm
it?
not, no, I'm
No.
not trying to.
I actually can't. Can't
get
give
it.
it.
There's a lot of credible sources, in
Yeah.
the books I've read, and
Yeah.
but I can't say it's 100% real because I haven't seen it with my own eyes. You know,
But you wouldn't be confident to say it's fake either.
No,
Same.
No,
not
I'd like
at
to
all.
see it with my own eyes, to be honest.
Chris, what about you?
So
you've
for episode 2, we'll go into my opinion.
Yeah.
Was that the,
Yeah, that was
No,
the episode.
the whole
Brilliant.
episode
Yeah,
too?
that's okay.
I am going to give an answer because I've always said it. I don't think people can get possessed.
For fuck's
After all that,
What have you
an
up
hour,
to for the last
we
hour?
have spoke for 1 fucking
No,
hour.
listen.
And you've described every
No, listen.
demon.
I don't think I've always said, you've known me. I've always said this, but I don't think they can. But I do believe they are possessed,
I get you.
and I want to capitalise on saying I could walk out that door in 2 minutes' time and be totally changed. And for the record, I do believe we go somewhere when we die. I do believe that. But I don't think. As Jake was saying, there is a lot of credible sources out there, and I'm not trying to dismiss that whatsoever. I just have to see it myself. That's all I.
That's
all
That's
I-
basically what we said.
Do you know what I mean? But I don't think, in my view, someone could be possessed, like forced to do something without saying, "Here, get lost," or that. Maybe it's not that easy. You know what I mean?
Well, that's your opinion.
That's, you know what I mean. But I do firmly believe people believe they are possessed, and they carry out those actions as part of
The
that.
mind is the most powerful tool.
Absolutely.
Isn't
Absolutely.
it?
Yeah. But anyway, that's another podcast.
So this is the
Part
end
two,
of this podcast. So this is episode 6, part 1.
A, part 1A.
Part 1A.
There might be 2 or 3 parts.
Compartmentalise this one and we'll have a few others.
And we're going to do a part 2. So from myself, Tina.
Bill.
Jake.
And Chris, and of course, as always, guys, never forget, stay spooky.
You have been listening to Paranormal Researchers Ireland podcast. Intro and outro music, Nothing to Be Scared Of but Kukuru. Tina's intro music is Prel Composition 48 by SFX Producer. Main team background music, Haunted Outpost by Ethan Sloan. PRI podcast recorded and produced by Jake and edited and mixed by Bill using Adobe Audition. We hope you enjoyed our podcast, so why not join us for our next supernatural podcast coming very soon.